Welcome to Roaming with Restless Women, real talk with wise, dynamic women leaders. I'm your host, Julie Noonan, CEO and founder of Intuitive Wisdom Coaching, and I'm living my dream life. I live and work in my RV, coaching senior women leaders as they navigate corporate politics, family drama, and personal goals to live their own dream lives. These women are restless. They are never done seeking new opportunities, learning, and creating value in the world. If you'd like to apply to be on the show, stick around to the end and I'll let you know how. Let's go. Welcome back to Roaming with Restless Women. Today I have the pleasure of introducing to you Neila Ramsingh. Neila is a certified life coach, suicide survivor, and author of Unleash, Discover Your True Desire, and Become the Happiest Person You Know. She is a leader with 25 years of experience working in the corporate world and an advocate for mental health and self-empowerment. She was born in Guyana and raised by a single father. Her early life was shaped by hardship, poverty, and trauma, as you can imagine, growing up in a small town, in a small home, without running water or electricity. Her world was a struggle. And I think most of us in the United States have no idea what that is like. None. Ugh. As the youngest of three children, opportunities were scarce, and despite her father's best efforts, education was her only escape. She was forced to leave school. Her dreams of a better future seemed impossible at the time. And then, at the age of 8, Neila was assaulted by a family member, and at 13, her pain became so overwhelming that she attempted suicide. She survived, obviously, but the question of why did she survive when she didn't want to, and why was she still here, has haunted her. It wasn't until much later that she realized that her survival had a deeper purpose. Though she lived with suicidal thoughts throughout her teenage years and into adulthood, she chose to keep going, partly because of her children, and she migrated to Canada in search of a better life, where she began reclaiming her power. She worked at night, went to school during the day to complete her GED while raising two young children. The perseverance is amazing with this woman, I'm telling you. Through self-education, she became a certified life coach and began to confront her fears of judgment, stepping into a space where she could help others. One of her most significant actions was publicly sharing that she was a suicide survivor, a topic that many people are reluctant to discuss. The stigma is still real. As a coach, she has touched the lives of countless individuals, guiding them to overcome their struggles and unlock their potential. Her work is grounded in her transformative journey of self-discovery and healing, and she is passionate about helping others break free from negative thought patterns and create lives of fulfillment. Welcome, Neila. I'm so happy to have you today.
Julie, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure sitting here and talking to you.
Well, I'm just going to dive right into the hardest, if you don't
Yes,
mind.
of course.
Because many people live with depression. They typically, at least in this country, have not lived with the kind of poverty that you were talking about in your story. But there's a lot of hurt and pain in this country as well, as it's a human experience, right? So tell me about that time and what was it? How did you feel? What was going on with you? I know you had been assaulted. Was that the main driver behind your suicide attempt?
So at the time, you tried at 8 years old. You don't
Mm,
know,
right.
you don't feel, you don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
So comprehending what would happen, I did not. All I know is I feel lost.
Mm,
And school was my only, like I look forward to go to school. And the school system, how it works is you're in junior high. Before you go to high school, you have to write an exam. And
okay.
it tells you by your marks, it tells you which school you have to go. So the school that I have to go, I have to travel about an hour in a vehicle to go to that school, which I don't have money. My
Mm,
father can't afford it. So what I did, I was little, not so big now, but still little. Walked into the high school in the next village, which is would take me 10 minutes to walk to school every day. But you have to have a higher marks to go to that school, which is no sense. It's closer to home. And I went straight to the principal office with my birth certificate. And no parent, nobody. I just walked in and says, I can't go to that school. I would like to come to this school. And I got into the school
Wow.
and
And
it
you were
showed
13 at the time? Or how old were
no,
you?
I was 11 years at that time.
11. I didn't know when
No,
junior
no,
high.
because
Yeah, okay.
this junior high for us is like not age 9, 10, and
Okay.
you write the exam and it tells you which school. So then I
Okay.
went to that school for about a year when my dad relocated into an area that, how do I put it? It's the same country, but I never knew it exists because there's no electricity, no running water, no roads, they're mud. And so we had to learn a new different lifestyle. So I continued going to school, but then I was taken out of school at age 13. So that was my lifeline.
Oh,
My
brother.
lifeline ripped out of me, and then I'm like, okay, what's the purpose of living? And
Wow.
that is when I attempted suicide. And the only thing that I remember in the hospital, I was awake. I look up at the ceiling and ask God, why am I here? What is my purpose?
Oh, wow.
So I continue growing and still don't know what that purpose was, but just know, okay, I didn't die, so now I got to live, but what am I doing? I don't know. So that's how I traveled through life for the longest time. It's long,
Wow.
yeah.
I'm surprised if nothing really changed right after that. I'm surprised that there were not more attempts.
There weren't more to attempt, but I was never too far from it. I
Gotcha.
was, um, I was always, anytime a stressful situation, like throughout my life, I had my son when I was 17, and
Wow.
I was a teenager mom. And again, it wasn't back home in Guyana. Getting married at a young age is not uncommon.
Mm-hmm.
If you're like 25 and you're not married and have kids yet, you're basically an old maid.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so North America is a very different belief and lifestyle as it is in Guyana. Now it's that way, but so I had my son at the age of 17. Well, rewind for a bit. I lost my dad at the age of 15. That was my world. So again, don't know what you're gonna do, but I guess there was higher power at play because it was a very, very tough time. And as much as this thought is within me, I didn't act on it. I
Mm.
wanted to, but I didn't. Then after my son was born, I had a reason. I have more reason to live.
Yeah.
Then because my husband and his family migrated to Canada, and that's how I came to Canada. At the age of 20, I came to Canada, and unfortunately, I became a widow that same year
Oh, no.
because my husband passed at the age of 23 from leukemia.
Oh, no.
So again, the rug pulled out from under you again. So after years, I was lucky to have my late husband family with me.
Mm-hmm.
They're still my family up to today. Up
That's
to today,
beautiful.
they're still my family.
That's
And
beautiful.
words cannot express how much I appreciate each and every one of them
Mm.
because they make me who I am today by me drawing that strength. As much I didn't share a lot of things with people because there was nobody to share with.
Yeah.
Uh, yes, so now due to I travel again in a robotic mode. I'm a robot.
Uh,
So I live my life
yes.
in a robotic mode. I went to school because again, school is my thing. I will tell you up to today, I become an education junkie.
Yeah.
I am still going to school up to today to
That's
take,
great.
yes, because I want to learn, I want to develop myself. In my family, I'm a cycle breaker. None of us had actually went on and do the things that I'm doing. But I never have my marriages and all of these things. They keep breaking because in deep inside of me, I am broken. And so everything else is broken outside of me, except my two children. So they were the ones that creating my life. They're the ones that I was living for. Everything I do, I was doing for them.
Hmm.
My son born with cerebral palsy, but it's a mild case. But you would never know. Doctor says he will be in a wheelchair at age 16. He's 37 years old. Not in a wheelchair, working a full-time job. Don't, and he has a daughter that's 14 years old. So I'm a grandmother too.
Oh, beautiful.
And my daughter, she's 30 and she just got married last year. And she and her husband are living 15 minutes away. And she's pregnant now too. So here we go. I'm getting a chance because I heal. But how did that happen? It just hadn't happened like that.
Right. It took
I
a
went,
lot of perseverance, it sounds like.
it did. And I had to sit with myself because I did not go through therapy.
You didn't.
No.
That was going to be my next question. So you've done all of this yourself.
So one of the things that I did one day, and it was late at night, and I was in that dark place. I actually drove to the hospital, thinking I'm going to commit myself in the hospital. But then thought about what will happen to my two children. So I turned the vehicle back again, came home, locked myself in my room, I bawled and I cried and go through that whole thing. And then I get up and went for a walk. But I journal a lot.
Okay.
I write everything. I don't think I ever read them. So one of the things that I did, I labeled journaling save my life because I didn't believe in sharing my story with anybody at all. Because who's gonna use it? Because in family and everything, like you're thinking, oh my God, somebody gonna use that against me. Somebody gonna think I'm crazy.
Oh,
Somebody
yeah.
gonna do this. So it's always living my life about what people think until I had to learn I don't care a damn.
Well, and that to me, that coming to
Mm.
that realization on your own
Yes.
takes an amazing amount of strength because I'm clinically depressed. I was diagnosed when I was uh in my mid 20s.
Mhm.
Um, so mine is a chemical imbalance. I've never tried to commit suicide, but I fantasized about it quite a lot back then. I don't think I could have gotten through it without therapy and without the medication that I'm on even today,
Yeah.
just to keep that balance. But that was a chemical situation. That was not I didn't go through anything traumatic as you did. But I can't imagine, I know when you said that dark place, I know
Hmm.
exactly what that is,
Yeah.
where you don't feel at all.
No,
You don't, it's just you're blank and you're hopeless. And it's like, I call it like sitting at the bottom of a well and looking up and not seeing the light.
I call it the
That's how it feels to
spiral.
me. Hmm.
I call it the spiral darkness, and it's one of those things. The way that I word that is
Hmm.
that when I go down in the spiral darkness, what happened once? I was sitting on my couch and I was spinning, and the it's just spinning.
Hmm.
So I shoot up from my chair like if somebody put electricity under my butt. I got up, I put my headphones on, and I went for a walk. So it seems like my internal system was helping me along because
Yeah.
what I started doing, I had to really, really sit down and really think if this is something that I wanted to do. if this was something I wanted to do, to be honest, after my children were all grown up and I'm an empty nester, I don't know if I will able to be here in this world because then there was nothing left.
Mm-hmm.
There was nothing left for me to say, "Oh, I'm doing it for this. Oh, I'm doing it for that." The
Yeah.
children was the post that I was holding on to.
This episode is sponsored by me. So, as a special gift to you, our listeners, I offer a free one-on-one 15-minute breakthrough session. Bring a problem and experience how coaching works to see if it could be of value to you. Sign up for an available time on my website, intuitivewisdomcoach.com.
Well,
And
and now you have to change it to you.
oh, I did. That's the only reason
Yeah.
I'm sitting in front of you here, and I can speak about this.
Mm-hmm.
And what I like to say to everybody is that once you heal, you see yourself, you see that story as a third person. Yes. You see it as a third person from the out, you're looking in,
Mm-hmm.
outside. So I'm not saying I don't stress. I do.
Oh,
I
yeah.
work in the corporate world. I'm trying to get out of the corporate world because one of the things that when I hear your podcast title, oh my good Lord, I'm roaming wild, and we as strong women always think that we can't do this and we can't do that and we have to grow, we can't do all these things. And I'm living proof that you can do whatever you want, whenever you want, whatever you want.
Know it. Absolutely. So you wrote a book then. Tell me
Yes,
about
I
the
did.
book. That's
So
amazing.
this that was also part of my healing process is
I
that
imagine, yeah.
I didn't intend to write a book. Who the heck says 3 years ago I would be an author? Are you crazy? I barely have school. I barely have high school, and I'm a production supervisor for a company. I'm working for the company for 32 years now.
Wow.
Out of that,
Congratulations.
yeah, thank you. Out of that 32, I'm 25 years a leader, production supervisor in management.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. So I was journaling. These are my journals. And then I help a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, do I have a coach sign on my chest? And so I was helping a lot. So one of my employees said, Neela, why don't you put all of this in a book? And I'm like, yeah, right. And then as the years go by, it actually manifests itself because I wrote it and then I met somebody walked through my path and heard what I did, and she says, why not publish it? I'm like,
Yeah.
really? Somebody gonna want to read that? And that is how that became about. It was no thought that I'm going to be an author. It was my
Mm-hmm.
story that it's about our life journey
Mm-hmm.
and how my life journey, what I've learned, what I've give, and how it helps me become the person that I am. So I don't regret now. I will look back. I don't regret anything that happened. Remember, I asked the question at the age of 13, what is my purpose?
Right.
So I've now been privileged to be living my life with purpose now.
That's
My purpose
beautiful.
is to save lives.
Yes.
Because like I thank you for sharing that you were clinically diagnosed depression.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people, the reasons why some people who had attempted or complete suicide, doesn't have to be with clinical depression. It has to be
No.
with hurt, pain, assault. Something happened,
Yep.
and the taboo subject is nope, you need to go in the hospital, you need to be medicated. So a lot of people don't come forward.
Yeah.
Lot, lots and lots of people do not come forward.
Yeah.
And I did my research, and 1 in 5 kids currently right now is being assaulted. And it's also happening to people they know, from the people that they know. And as much as we're talking about it, yes, we're talking more about it, but yet still not a lot is being done.
Right. Because we're talking about it in general. We're not
Correct.
like truly confronting the
Yes.
situation where it needs to be confronted when it's happening or
Ah,
before it happens
that's
because we
correct.
don't know.
So
Hmm.
no, and one of the things that I shared before is that we who has been through that path understand. I may not understand somebody else who went through similar, they went through similar, but I can't understand what they're going through inside.
Right.
I choose to let it go because it's the past. It can no longer hurt me. It can't I only keep giving it power.
Right.
So I let go of the past. I reinvent myself that I want to go to the future. So my goal here is to let people know you don't have to relive the past for healing. You have to
Absolutely.
accept it happen.
Just accept it and move on
Yeah.
because you can't change it. You can
No.
only change how you think about it or how you allow it to impact you.
Yeah. And I refuse to let what happened affect me now. It's not as easy as done. You have to want it.
And absolutely. And I think the other part that's really critical in what you have said too is that it works for a while to
Mhm.
hold on to, a foundation like your kids or your grandchildren. But ultimately, what's going to really allow you to let it go is you have to be living life for yourself.
That's correct.
And
Yeah.
not in a selfish way, but living life, like you said, with purpose and looking forward, not backward,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. Yeah,
If
for
you tell
sure.
me, if you tell me I would go on a beach vacation by myself, I would say 10 years ago, I would say, yeah, right. I go now, I book my ticket, I go travel myself. I do the things that if I want to come home, sit on my couch with a TV on, I do.
Yeah.
If I want to soak in a bath, I do. I do what's necessary and right for me.
Hmm.
And I'm not saying I disrespect anybody. I will be there for you, but there's time I take for myself also.
Well, and you can't be there for other people if you haven't taken care of yourself.
That is correct.
And there's a difference between giving and sacrificing.
Hmm.
I would like to freely give, but I don't necessarily want to be a martyr. No?
That was me because I thought for me to live a good life and have a relationship, and I had to be a certain way, and I have to keep giving regardless if I agree or disagree. So I was constantly living my life for other people until the day I learned. I was in a meditation class, and I asked the lady if she knows somebody who can help me, and this is what I'm looking for. And then one guy said, Neela, do you mind if I say something to you? I said, sure, go ahead. I don't mind. He says, whatever you're looking for is inside of you. You wouldn't find it from nobody.
Nope.
But at that time, I didn't understand. I did not understand what he was saying.
Uh,
It took me a little while when I found it, what I was looking for. Then I realized what he was saying. And since then, I stopped looking outside for what I want. I would sit with myself and I would speak. I actually, thank God my son don't think I'm crazy, but
do you talk to yourself? I do
I know
too.
when I'm meditating,
Yeah.
I will speak to myself when I'm
Yeah.
meditating, because for many years I never look in the mirror.
Oh.
I never ever look in the mirror. So when I found myself, I couldn't see myself enough in the mirror now. So like in the morning, I'm like, you got this, girl. You got going on a podcast. Yeah, you're good.
Yep.
So I will tell myself, I will look myself in the eye in the mirror and tell myself, If I look good today or if I look tired today, I will be honest with myself because nobody.
Yes. Yes. So
So those life
mhm.
experience is
Yeah.
what makes me into going into life coaching
Yes.
because as a life coach, I can't make you change. I can help you see the things by letting you tell yourself what is it that you need? What is it that you need to fulfill? I just guide you
Mm-hmm.
through that path of listening by
Yes.
being an active listener, then get those words and help you see yourself the way you want to be seen. I can't tell you that you need to let go, and I can't tell you you need to do something. I will
Nope.
help you with yourself. So that is
Yep.
the strength that is one of the reason is how I help people to move through their own journey. I don't ask people what they're been through.
Mm-hmm.
I ask them if it's possible to let that part go. And if you let that go, you need to fill it with something.
Yes.
What would you fill it with?
What's next?
Yeah.
I have three questions for you that I ask at
Yeah.
the end of every episode. And so the first one is if you could close your eyes and describe what you see in your mind's eye when I say wise woman, and then open your eyes and tell me about what you saw.
Wow. That just image just pop up and
Yep.
oh my, the funny thing is a wise woman when I actually saw myself and it's I can't believe that that's what popped up in my head. We went to a British tea party. We all dressed up like old British women,
Uh-huh.
hat, the mitts, and the fluffy, and that's what just popped into my
I
head
love
because
it.
it's somebody older, and I guess that's where the wise came in. So that is what popped into my head.
I love that you said yourself
Yes.
because that is true. That is true. And the fact that you can look in the mirror and you can say, you're a wise woman.
Yeah.
Next question. Where do you like to roam?
On a beach, sunshine and sand.
And you're in Canada, right?
Where it's rain right now and I still have a chunk of snow in my backyard.
See, there you go. There you go. Well, shoot. If you were down here, we'd go to the beach right now.
Yep.
It's only an
Yes.
hour away.
One day.
And what makes you restless, Neela?
Oh
Restless
my
in a
God.
good way.
I am so restless because I told you I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't have to go to work till 6. But I get up and I wanted so bad to leave my corporate job and do what I love full
Mm,
time, which is speaking and all over the world travel. So
yes.
I am so restless right now, and I will continue being restless. I don't want to be comfortable.
Mhm.
I want to continue being restless so I can fulfill my goals and dreams of saving lives.
I love it. I'm so happy to have had you on this podcast. I'm so happy that you applied and I'm so happy that we've met. This is awesome. Great, great, great.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I'm going to put in the show notes the title of your book, Unleash, Discover Your True Desire and Become the Happiest Person You Know. Can we have a link to that book?
Yes,
Can you
this is on
provide that for
Amazon.
me? Okay,
Yes, I can provide it.
perfect.
It's
I'll
on
put that
Amazon.
on there. And then the
Mhm.
second thing, where can people get a hold of you directly? Do you have a web page or LinkedIn or what?
Yes, I do have LinkedIn. I do have a LinkedIn. I have a web page,
Hmm.
and because I'm not fully business yet, the web page is there, but just a web page. So
Okay.
you can all of me LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram.
Okay.
Yes,
And Instagram, you said.
yes, and
Okay,
they're all
perfect.
under. Yes, they're all under Neila Ramsingh.
Okay. Well, that's
If you
easy
type
enough
in
then.
Neila Ramsingh on Google, it all comes up.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Julie Noonan here. Thank you so much for listening to Roaming with Restless Women. If you're a successful senior woman leader who would like to be on this program, please visit podcast.intuitivewisdomcoach.com. If you enjoyed this interview, please share this episode on social media and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. Your thumbs ups and reviews go a long way.